Okay, I think we're live. I had Gail about 10 seconds ago, and I've lost her video. So I'll give Gail a minute to, or let's see what is happening. Gail, if you're there, hit me on private message, and your video just disappeared. So we'll give it a minute and see, if we can fix it. Come on. What? Gail, say something. I wonder if we can hear your audio. All right, just bear with us, folks. Looks like a little technical difficulties, but trust me, Gail is worth the wait. All right. I'm not sure how to fix this. Hey, type it in. Can y'all see Gail and I can't? Warren, I wonder if that's the case because I can't see. And oh, Gail, you're here. I can't see nor hear you. Gail, type if you can hear me. That is just weird. And okay, other people can't see you either. So that is just strange. And I don't want to do a new one if I can help it because we promoted this link. Gail, I'll tell you what, maybe switch to a different camera or mic or reboot your computer and we'll wait. Yeah, I can't see you on the console here. Okay, all right, so we'll wait for Gail. And you know what? In the meantime, while Gail's doing that, I'll get some of this out of the way. There she is.
There
I was gonna talk about you behind your back.
Aha.
So let me tell you guys about Gail Kingsbury. She is, the technical thing that you want to hear about, the content that you're about to get is she is without any question the foremost authority on earth at putting on successful live events. That's the resume. That's a pretty good place to start. The other thing behind the scenes is she has got the best. She's got the best Rolodex. Period. There are people out there, there's people out there that make a living from being, connectors. Gail runs circles around them all, except she hasn't really figured out how to charge money for it, which makes her a great friend to have. I can't understate this. You're supposed to, when you have guests, what do I know? I'm brand new at this. You're supposed to say nice flowery things and superlatives about all your guests, except, there's a lot of history with Gail on a personal level. This woman probably deserves a halo, just as a friend. My best friend in the world, as nearly as I can tell. And heart of gold, and everybody says that about lots of people, seriously. So I could be flowery all day, but people that know me, and they'll hear it in our content, they're going to get a clue out just how I feel about you. But let's start from the fact of that you're just really the best there is, and Jan K. Vivant, following right behind you, is super good too, at putting on live events. Why do people need them if they're in the coaching and mentoring space?
Well, coaching in and of itself is a live event. Whether it's one-on-one or you're having a small group coaching thing or you're doing a mastermind that ends up being at an island or in a small place, I think everything's a live event and you just really need to know how to do it.
Call. You think that people could get more value out of their even their one-on-ones or their group coaching or masterminds if they think about it more like a live event, like something to plan out?
Well, it is something to plan out. I think, like I've done some other coaching things in the past, and a good friend brought me in to do a one-on-one coaching program with her once. And I was really fascinated because I went down to LA, but she totally did it right. I mean, we only had one person that we were going to sit with for the day, but we had a binder for her. We had food that she liked so that there were snacks. We had, good water. Everything was prepared so that when this person came, she was totally taken care of. And it gave us a space to do a great coaching. And I think it's the same even if you're going to do coaching over Skype or however that might work. If you're doing one-on-ones, you need to be prepared. You need to, know how things are going to happen. Make sure that they get prep stuff in advance. That they have a bottle of water, like all the different little things that make any interaction work.
That's probably it. If I didn't know I have a recording, I'd probably be writing that down. I have never thought of that. I would be willing to bet whoever that client was, they went out and, raved to their friends about the experience over a bottle of water.
Done over probably the last 7 years, she's done amazing things from, just what we did in that one day. So, whether it's an hour one-on-one, a day one-on-one, group coaching calls, I think we have to prepare. We do that just Sunday dinner here, before everybody shows up for dinner. It's like, are the tables out? Are the tablecloths on? Where's the silver? Are we using paper plates or not? Everything's ready.
I can't tell you how bad I miss what do you call them? The hippie egg?
Hmm? The what?
Oh, I was just thinking about, what is it? The hippie eggs? Gail cooks eggs with the most amazing things.
Hippie surprise. Yeah. Whatever's in the fridge goes in the eggs.
So it's weird to talk in terms of audience and the following for this. The whole project is 5 days old, but mostly the folks that are listening are either professional coaches or mentors, and they're looking to expand their coaching business. If I've done a good job, I hope that I have, of attracting the right people. Mm-hmm. These are authentic experts at what they do. They're looking for some tips on the marketing aspect and getting leads and whatnot. Right. So I'd say that a fair representation is they're doing some client work, maybe 3 to 5 to 10,000, for one-on-one clients. A lot of them may have like Skype-based or Zoom-based group coaching with 8 to 10 clients. And by the way, if I'm calling it wrong, because I love data, go ahead and type it in the comments and let's see if we can hone it down. But I think that's kind of fair as far as who's listening. I know that where every single body is buried when it comes to speaking from stage. Seriously.
Not every single one.
Well, there's one somewhere, but I know that there's nobody anywhere better to talk about this. A lot of people might be in a great position to do a live event and host an event and go fill it, get the seats and all. Also, there's the option of speaking at other people's events. Like, where can somebody start who's in the business? They have some authentic talent. Maybe it's in the marketing or personal development space. Maybe it's not. I mean, what can they do to expand their business from there?
To expand their coaching business? Well, I mean, that's a whole marketing question, right? And
well, yeah, I mean, really, I'm talking about going into speaking. Like, would a coach make a good speaker?
Some coaches make great speakers, and some coaches should never speak. I think, that's the same thing. Like, there's some great speakers who can't write a book, and there's great authors who shouldn't be on stage until they actually learn how to communicate better. I think that going from coaching to speaking, can sometimes be tougher than going from speaking to coaching. There's, I watch a lot of this video stuff that's going on, and I'm not on it. Let's see, this is my first live other than something from the party that we did with Margene.
I gotta tell you, I've been scared to, I mean, Gail and I are close friends. I've been scared to death of doing video. I need to get to see the dentist. It scares the hell out of me. But man, now that I'm doing it, I love it. That's
great. But you're doing it. So I watch some of these people who are life coaches, and if you want to be a life coach, this is just something for you to know. Don't put the computer on your lap and then look down at it, because we are on the other side looking at your nose and feeling like you're looking down on us. And then everything you say is because you're looking at yourself and not at the people. So I think this live thing makes it a little bit easier, like what we're doing here, because we're having a conversation. But it's been fascinating to see. And some people that I thought were really, great coaches, I can't go there anymore. So that goes back to being prepared. But if you're doing a great job in spreading your message, whether it's a blog, whether it's doing these live things, make sure you're staying on point and on topic so that the rest of us actually want to keep hearing what you have to say.
I've given up.
That audience, that's a great way to get more coaching clients. So they fit really well hand in hand.
Yeah. I've given up because for what it's worth, I'm looking at you directly in the eye. And my camera's the opposite. It's way up high, and I think I'm looking the other way. So it almost looks like I'm Trump with that German lady, trying to. But I'll just live with it and just make sure everybody knows that I'm looking at the monitor screen for BeLive.tv, and I'm looking straight at you, but it probably doesn't look like I am.
It does actually.
Okay, I'll take it then. So do you notice that a lot of people come into the speaking business from coaching, or vice versa? I guess I'm exploring like chicken or egg. Like, are they coaches first?
I think it goes the other way around. I think more people go from speaking to coaching, so they go from many to few to hone in something. At least in my experience, I see more people who are on stage and at bigger events creating coaching courses so they can go deep with people in a smaller setting. I think it's a little hard to go from like having 10 coaching clients to being on stage. It doesn't happen as often. It takes time, it takes a lot of time.
I'm curious. I mean, speakers and coaches both have one thing in common that, well, they may have a few, but they're both authentic experts at what they do. If you had to guess, you know a lot of speakers who also coach. Where do you think that they're, a lot of them monetize their speaking with coaching? Mm-hmm. So it may be an unfair question. I mean, if somebody was a competent coach and then they were also a speaker or not, like, how do you think the speaking can stack up as a way for an expert to make money against one-to-one coaching?
I think if you're doing paid speaking and you're getting in front of a group of 100 or 1,000 people and you're getting $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 for that hour and a half, I think that makes more sense in that, then you can bring people into your coaching. Exactly, Shayla.
Shayla's great.
Yep. So, you're sending them to the back, you're putting them into your coaching program. There are a lot of speakers who create a coaching program and then they certify other coaches. So they become the spokesperson or the face of a program. And I know several speakers who have hundreds of certified coaches. And so then, people come in, then they go through the coaching system, and then they can go into a higher end coaching that might be 10 people with the speaker kind of a thing.
Yeah, we had that. I call that whole process train the trainer.
Yep.
And we had that whole discussion on either yesterday's call or the one before about the fatal flaw for coaching is coaches running out of personal time to do one-on-ones, and
Right.
train the trainer being the magic pill, to scale out of that. I'm guessing that most speakers rely pretty heavily on high-end, product sets that don't involve time. I mean, would you say?
There's a lot more high-end masterminds happening too. 15 grand for 3 days, kind of a thing. Joe Pollock did a great job at a mastermind. I love Genius Network and participate in that as much as I possibly can. And that's the epitome of a great high-end mastermind. It's $25,000 for the year. You go to 3 events, but it's a facilitated, a couple of days, 3 times a year with amazing people.
Yeah,
a lot of what comes out of that.
I would. I haven't been to Joe's program. Tony's Platinum thing was a lot of fun. That was really, if we're not talking to our tax attorneys, really, it was just a way to have fun.
Right. We had some cool vacations.
Yeah, but Joe Polish's 15K mastermind. Those people really do come out with 1 and 1 equals 3. They that mythical mastermind power thing is really present. It's present in a lot, but with Joe and guys like Peter Diamandis and you,
right?
So do you know if Joe does one-on-ones?
Joe doesn't do one-on-ones, but he helps all of his 25K members as much as he possibly can. If you're in 25K, he and Dean Graziosi now have a 100K group, which is a lot smaller and a lot more intense and way more personalized. So.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the coaches that are listening to the call now, and this is cool, like a lot of the folks listening to the call, I've been seeing it. They're charging their $3,000 for their package. I had a long conversation tonight. If somebody doesn't really have the money to spend, they'll offer them less, and a lot of good coaches will take it because they just want to help people, right? I think a lot of coaches miss the fact that everything. I mean, Jay Abraham taught me this. Everything is a front end. Everything. And there really are people out there selling like $100,000 programs and re-upping. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely. They're re-upping every year.
For $100,000. So for the coaches out there that are, having some internal, mental like worthiness issues, and I hear it a lot. Look, yeah, you can get your 3K, you can get your 5K. Don't be afraid to, put together like higher end programs. And you just can't say $100,000 program without saying Jan K. Lafon, right?
Exactly.
I mean, having the Prague Opera serenade us from stage, that was just one of them, right? That woman can put together some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
pulling her into something right now, so actually, like, I need your help. She's amazing.
We're like sisters. I told the story the other day. I don't know if it was the last time I saw you or recently. We were in Toronto, Canada, and Gary Vaynerchuk was there. And, Jan had a wink and a nod thing, hey, 5 minutes with Gary. That guy was sitting on the stool. He was, this is a compliment, the man's an addict. That man is addicted to helping people.
Yes, he is.
Poor Jan had to drag the guy, off the stool to get him in the car so he wouldn't miss his plane.
Yeah.
But,
that was a fun event.
Oh, yeah. Me and my friend drove, God knows how long to get to that thing. lately, you've been doing this for a long time. And how you still look 19, I have no idea. Would you say that like if I were to ask you today, because and also this will be a question, most speakers, I mean, let's say that you're an authentic expert at something at which there's a decent market for,
Right.
relationship coaching or anything with a decent market. Like today, would you say that it's fee-based or mostly back of the room sales-based as far as how they're making money, or the best way to shoot for making money? Or down the middle?
I'm going to answer that. I mean, I think that it's fee-based, but it should be coming from the back of the room sales.
Oh, it's both cool.
And not everything should be back of the room sales either. There's plenty of times when you get more business by not pitching than by pitching. I mean, when you're, and I have spreadsheets over years and years and years proving that the more information you give and the more information you really instill in the people you're working with, whether it's from stage or whether it's, just even one-on-one coaching or group coaching, as long as you're not saying, oh, but I'll tell you more about that in my program later, or there's 10 points to making a great, talking zebra, but I can only give you 3 of them today. That sucks. And your sales, it doesn't matter. Your sales will go down. If you say, I'm going to give you 3 steps to making a great talking zebra today, and just go deep in those 3, then,
Yeah. My friend Yannick Silver has a phrase. I love it. It's in the front end. How does it go? In the front end, tell them what to do. In the upsell, this is for digital products. It translates.
right.
In the upsell, tell them how to do it. In the high ticket back end, do it for them.
Yep.
It's worth saying this for the viewers. Stop what you're thinking. Don't think about the next post. Write that down, right? Because giving everything you can at every opportunity, like we're doing free content right now, and we're not holding anything back. Make the front ends great, the middle end's great, the live event, don't, it's fair to say, don't ever throttle your contribution to the client. Unless it's your personal time, that's fair, right?
That's fair.
If your personal time, you can and should put a throttle on that, but nothing else. Like, I have this rant, Gail, about digital products. Mother Teresa, having a low-end digital product can help a lot of people because you only have so much time on this earth, right? Also, Tony Soprano says, the Tony in me says, put out digital products as an active barrier between you and clients that aren't going to get a lot of benefit from your time. So it's I have to say, Belle, my fiance, her father was in the hospital, so I'm going on very little sleep in case I look like it. How our coaches. So let me recap because I'm half done tonight. Even pitching at all is in question when you speak at seminars, and I'm guessing that if you just leave everything out there on the field during your talk, you'll get clients. Eventually they'll come up and talk to you.
What happens is you give great content and people want to learn more. Even if you only knew 2 things and you gave it all, people are going to want to learn more. They don't remember everything. They know that you're an expert in that, and they want to learn more and they want to go further with you. That's it's a key piece. That if you look at, the people who are really, really great on stage, and some of them will sell hard, but they sell hard for you to continue going through their stuff because they really believe that you can learn more and go more, right? It's because there's actual content there, not because they just want all your money.
And some of them are just selling the hell out of you but Not the good ones.
Not the good ones, not the ones that last.
Right, right. Boy, I have a name in mind, and you know what it is. I'm not going to say it, and you know exactly who it is. And I don't think you work with him. But so from a revenue standpoint, I mean, there's a lot of coaches out there that want to take their game to the next level. If you were like counseling a friend, would they be going out and looking for paid speaking gigs? Would they be, getting promoters to take a chance on them and let it be from the back of the room? So that's first half of the question. And then the other half is, if it's a back of the room scenario, what's good today? I mean, is it a coaching program for, say seems like 3K is a sweet spot in seminars.
Yeah.
I want to know if you agree with that. Like, is it coaching today, or is it some kind of digital package?
I think maybe it's a combination of both. And to go back to the first part of the question, I think that it is speaking, and it is, and Shelley, Shelley's a friend, and she's like, now to have something to sell, right? Mm-hmm. But I think, Shelley, you're doing like some little, like, home events, right, with your coaching? And she's a life coach, and she's got all kinds of great stuff that she's doing. So there's Rotary clubs. There are so many, especially here in the U.S., there's so many little groups, and there's women's groups, and there's just so much of that going on. Those are great to be in front of. The chamber's always looking for somebody to speak. Those groups, that starts building your audience, and that helps you decide what your audience really wants from a consumption place. And look at Ryan Lee; he's a great example too. He does all this continuity stuff and all these membership platforms and everything. And then even on Facebook, he'll do live coaching, or he'll give people half an hour, which then brings them into his continuity program. And he does these half-hour consultations, and maybe he'll do them for $99 or $3.99, depending. And he just goes deep with them on Skype and helps them get moving. The back end could be that simple.
Yeah.
And then put it into a continuity and have a monthly group coaching piece that's going on.
Perfect. I have IMs. I feel like a rock star or something. What do you see as maybe a newbie mistake? I mean, if you want to go out and get yourself booked so if you take the route of being a speaker and you want to go get yourself booked, what do you see as some of the red flags, or maybe some newbie mistakes that, what would be some mistakes that you can not have if you know better?
Make sure you know your topic. I preach this all the time, but make sure you know what you're talking about. And don't go to them and say, oh, I'll be your speaker. I can talk about anything. With me as a planner, I'm going to say, oh, okay, great. Next. Because I don't want somebody who can talk about anything. I want an expert at something.
Perfect.
That's kind of one of the biggest things. Is like people just want to be on stage, and maybe your thing is talking about health. Maybe you're a health professional, right? And your best audience is chiropractors. Well, if your best audience is chiropractors, don't go to the high school and talk to them about tennis shoes. Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and that applies directly into the coaching industry all by itself. Also,
it's fascinating because I have an event coming up in LA, and people are coming out of the woodwork who want to be on stage, and it's wonderful, and everybody wants to help, and they're being fabulous. And it's a boot camp for event production. Like, you want to do an event? This is how you're going to do an event. We're going to go through everything, you name it, different registration systems. But we're not going to go over whether you should put a pause in your talk. We're not right. It's not an event about speaking. It's an event about It's an event about events, and they just don't get it. They're like, oh no, I should be on, I should do this. I'm like,
I can see
that's
it.
fabulous, except that's not what the event's about.
Well, you're a very easy person to ask a favor from. It's it's your way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to talk about that. The event. First off, make no mistake, I will be there, and I'm
Okay.
dragging some people there with me. Let me go one step further. You still have seats for it, right?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. So if anybody puts any value on my time personally, there will be at least one, probably more than one, masterminds that will do. You'll get time with me, like you'll get whatever I have to give, and I'll formalize it. If you go get her thing, and this deserves saying. A lot of seminars, most seminars are sold with affiliate relationships. I will not take this woman's money because I love her like that. Shayla, good. Consider the arm twisting happened. Yeah, I would never take a nickel from her. But it's worth saying that you probably do have an affiliate program for it. Is that correct? Yeah. So other people can. It's a business, right? But there's no link. I'll have Gail put a link in there for you. Tell me some if you want to do live events, right? Is it fair to say that this is about putting on successful live events, correct?
Right. It's about putting on successful live events from anywhere from 5 people to 10,000.
Got it. And for the record, you have done 10,000 events. Is that fair? I know you've done 5. Yeah. Really, it's just not hype. I want to make sure and say this for everybody that came in a little bit late. This woman is the foremost authority on earth at this. There is nobody better at this than her. Now, if you're going to be a smartass and say, oh, yeah, but Tony Robbins does it. Who was one of your early clients?
Tony.
Got it. So, yeah, I just really can't drive that point home enough. Gail, tell me some expensive mistakes that people can make without knowing this stuff.
Well, I had fairly, maybe it's been a year and a half now. I had Jay call me, who does all he's done events over the years, and I get a phone call, hey, I did this event in LA, can you call the hotel because they charged me $25,000 for rooms I didn't use? Well, there was nothing we could do. We paid an extra $25,000 to do an event because he booked a room block that he didn't need. And, those are expensive mistakes. Those are really expensive mistakes.
And it's fair to say that that's not something that would have happened if you were on the case.
Right. I mean, there was an event one time we did in Florida, and the person who I was just telling this story, so it's on my mind, but the person who had booked the hotel didn't do the simplest little thing and get a 24-hour hold on the room. So the hotel booked a party in the room that we were in that night and literally kicked us out because somebody else was coming in. So we had to, it was a crazy tear down, and we moved the entire audience out to the pool, and we had staff run to their rooms and grab all the lamps out of their hotel rooms, and we plugged in lamps around the pool so we had light and finished the event.
You know what?
Do that,
I could totally see myself doing that. For the viewers, this is a woman to whom this is natural, right? And I could see it in your eyes when you tell the story. It's like, look at this idiocy, right? And
well, we had a plan and we made it work, and we but at the same time, should have never happened.
Yeah,
and it's an
so you
expensive.
fixed it. Yeah, you fixed it, and that's just one thing that I could totally see myself doing, right? And it goes to the core of some of the stuff we talk about on all these calls, and that's embrace what you're good at, the thing, the 4%ness of what you're good at, and either find experts, work with experts, hire it out. Don't learn it. If you're worth $1,000 an hour, training dogs, do that. Just work with experts for the rest. Any other like, without naming people?
Someone had me look at a contract because they had a $20,000 room rental, and they weren't going to feed anybody, so they just had to pay for the room, for the ballroom, and it was $10,000 a day. And so they thought they had a really great deal, and I said, well, you're paying $10,000 a day for a room. Would they give you the room for free if you spent that same amount on food and beverage? We made a quick phone call, and their food and beverage minimum to have the room for free was $7,500. So we saved them $2,500 a day, and they're able to feed lunch to the participants, which adds more value, and at least they weren't just, throwing their money away on an empty room. And so they were giving additional value to the participants and saving money at the same time. But those are things that, they just make a difference. They make a difference in how it runs. They make a difference in how much you spend. They make a difference in how your participants feel.
Yeah, I mean, these are like I don't want to trivialize the experience. I mean, they saved $5K and gave their participants lunch. I mean, those are all like quality of event stuff.
Right.
I mean, let's talk about that. And I want to manage your time also, because we always run a danger of these things going into the hours, and I don't want to do that to you.
Do that today.
Who knows? We might get people like holding you hostage by asking 100 questions. Who knows? But the quality of the event and how people feel about it. First off, you probably have in your spreadsheets like what quality level to go to and what it does in the back end sales. So we'll just leave that where it sits. But there's also the money side of it. Like, you've been doing this for so long. You're the event that you're putting on. I think it's called the event. Is that right?
Your event.
Yeah, we're going to put a link in a minute. But you also teach people how to do the business side of it, how to put together the pitch, how to get speakers. Let's talk about that for a minute.
What do you want to know? Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, we're going to wait on folks now. You know what? I'll make some ask questions.
Yes, Shelley, I am on stage.
Say again?
I think Shelley asked if I was going to be on stage in LA, and yes, I am.
Oh, that's a rare treat, I can tell you.
Oh.
So, here's some questions that, I'll throw some out so we have it for the recording. I'm guessing that you have some pretty good content about how to actually sell the seats.
Yes.
Right, and what to sell them at. There are probably and let me just let you look under the hood. I know Gail. I know the business only enough because I'm friends with Gail, right? So I'm going to it's not a trick. I'll just lead you through questions because I want to put the answers out there for people.
Okay.
It would be a trick if I didn't say that in advance. But, there's selling to your own list. There's selling to cold traffic. And there's also selling to the lists of speakers and how to pay them, which format. I mean, these are all things that and that you'll be able to teach people at the event, correct?
Right.
Perfect. We've thrown my concept of not pitching on these calls out the window, but you're worth it.
We don't have to
just go. Just you'll get it. Just go. We do have a question from Shayla. She's just Shayla.
Okay, if it's your first event, then the best way to so you have to decide, is it your first event and it's just going to be you, or are you going to do like an evening with, is it Shayla? All right, right? So, is it an evening with Shayla? Is it an all-day thing? Is it going to be a 2-day event? And the best way to get other people and speakers on board is going to be letting them know that you actually have an audience. The fine line that you have to deal with in bringing speakers on board is not using them to bring their audience to your event, because they're on to that. So if the condition of them speaking at your event is that they have to promote it 3 times and sell 5 people, then you're going to get a lesser quality speaker who just wants to be on stage and may not be the right fit for your audience that's going to want to play. So it's a double-edged sword there, and you have to be really careful in how you do that. You know, last year I had somebody in California asked me, like, "Oh, we would love for you to speak," and then I was like, "Okay, well, I'm happy to do that if I'm going to be able to create value." And then the next thing, AJ, the next email that I got was that I was required to sell 10 tickets to their event, and so I didn't go.
Now, Gail, I want to like ask, and I'm not. Remember, I called myself out for leading you through questions. Now I'm going to say on purpose that I've stopped. But I think this is true. You can, yes, speakers are there because they want to experience your audience. That's kind of the name of the game. But there's a middle. Mm-hmm. So, if you have an existing audience, it's still legit. It's still worthy to expect the speakers to promote to some extent, particularly when you have an affiliate program. So it's still okay to do that. Just don't make it all about that.
There's a whole piece around whether you require it. Jay, who's watching, I see him once a year in Scottsdale for the last 9 years, and just found out you canceled. What's going on? But you never see the people that are on that stage where I see Jay for Dean. Nobody else is pitching for that event. Nobody else is saying, come to that event. We have some amazing speakers. And as a matter of fact, I've put Jay up there, a couple of times because he's done such a great job with the information he's learned from those events.
We're talking about Jay, the person who commented just now?
Yeah, Jay's
Oh God, nice to meet you, Jay. I transposed to Abraham. I know that.
Oh no! I'm talking to you today. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Got to give him props then.
And I guess there's a lot of people who will just promote because hey, I'm going to be at this program. And Shyla, you would also call somebody like me or somebody else who books speakers and have a conversation, say, this is the kind of an event I want to do. Who would be the best speakers? And let us help you pull the right people in to be on your stage. You may not know them. You may not have a good connection with them, but you could call me and maybe I know them or we know the people who do know them, and we have better leverage to get the right people on the stage.
And Gail, I want to take a chance and say something that I may well have to apologize for on a private phone call, but I'm going to say it, right? Okay. And it'll be Mother Teresa and Tony Soprano, and it's this. If you're wondering whether or not I think you should go to Gail's event, don't. Look, I live in the Philippines. I'm going to fly 8,000 miles to be there, right? It's a no-brainer. So there's that. Oh God, I was going somewhere. Oh, here it is. Man, I'm going to put a saddle on Gail Kingsbury, and maybe she'll get mad at me later, but it's this. If you are at that event, because I know Gail, I've been friends with her for years, it's like one of those things where if you go to a big IM event or certainly a Tony Robbins event, and when the event's over, try getting Tony on the phone. It's hard, right? But if you have 2 qualifications, and I'm not even going to look for Gail to confirm this because I'll apologize later if I'm wrong. But if you have 2 qualifications, one is that you come to the event and participate, and the other one is that you're not an asshole. You will probably make a friend out of Gail and get leverage that you just can't buy. Like I said, maybe I'm wrong about that, but
No, I
Gail's just one of those
think we're
people.
going to be at that event. We're going
Yeah.
to be a family. Yep.
So, all right. So I didn't do too bad then. Good.
And I just thought Chris joined us, and Chris is going to be at the event, and I'm having him speak on some really cool stuff. And Mike, have to get on a live video to say hello to Mike.
Yeah, by the way, you know what? I'm going to say this with full. Don't answer. I want you to intentionally not answer because I don't want you on the spot. With full knowledge of the chat that we had before about, everybody wants to speak. But if there's anybody that wants to learn about digital advertising or lead flows, either on the stage or in the restaurants alongside, they can count on it, whether they came from my tribe or not.
Oh, we have already plugged you in to do one of the breakout sessions.
Oh, have you? Great.
Yeah.
I feel so far ahead of those latecomers who can't get in. Good.
Thanks, man.
So, we're coming up on, where are we? 45 minutes. So anything else that you can think of? Like any other, we talked about, booking people. We talked about, some of the things that people can do on the speaker side. And, what are some like other areas like areas where people can have their butt handed to them if they don't know what they're doing? Or, areas where there's maybe a big opportunity that you really can't see if you're an outsider. Like, anything else that we should talk about when it comes to live events?
Yeah, we could talk for hours about all of that. But pulling it back to like as far as for coaches, I think, if you're doing small things and you want to do small local things, you can do free events or, at your library. And the local libraries usually have really great meeting rooms. And you can put 30 or 40 people in there and do, do something. Our friend Carrie did a really cool dream board session at the Barnes and Noble here, and she had great participation. And that was a great way for her to get, more clients and more mentoring clients. And so those kind of things, if they love having those kind of live events in those venues. The libraries a lot of times won't let you charge. But it's a great way to do like an evening or, like Shelley, if you did one at the local library where you're at up there in Washington, I think, and just, brought people in. So it's not necessarily at home, and taking it to that next venue creates a whole lot more credibility. And then you move things from there. A lot of people do want just personal coaching clients. They like that one-on-one, and when they're charging $100 or $500 or, some people charge $5,000 an hour for that coaching.
I mean, as you were saying something before, and it's worth saying that, I before this call, I called you and, went over who I got a call from, and it knocked me up. I'm not going to talk about it yet because I don't want to jinx it, but I got a phone call from you couldn't make this shit up, right? As far as the caliber of the phone call that I got. And it makes your point. You can do an event at a library, and I'm sure you have a process for that. You can do an event at a library, and the fact that you're doing it for free doesn't have to be a limitation, right? I mean, these calls right here, pardon me for being proud of them, but they're good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, my time and your time is not nothing. We're putting down some good content. And yes, this one we've actually done a little pitching, but it's like the kind of pitching that you do with love because people need it, right? But the library example, you could bring people into a library right there in town and show them that you're an authentic expert. Sometimes it's better not to charge.
Yep,
I'm learning that from this.
I had an old friend who actually just passed away this week,
I'm so
who
sorry.
built an incredible financial planning business on doing free events at the local library, and then giving all of those people a personalized appointment in his office. You know, if they wanted one, and he just went through and he gave them a free personalized financial plan, and he never made that. He never made one cold call stockbroker call because we just did these little events at the local libraries, and you get 40 people, you know, or you do it like at the Rancho Santa Fe at the country club and spend, you know, $100 for the room for the night. And, you know, it's a great way to.
Would it be indelicate to say, you know, just to kind of give an idea of what, I mean, you know, with free events and, you know, this is not a financial claim, but is it indelicate to ask what kind of, you know, business you would pull down from that?
Millions. You made millions.
Millions. You know, it's worth saying.
Yeah.
You know, I'll do this.
You know, Leanne's watching, but Peak Potentials, we used to do a free evening. You know, it was a 3-hour free evening for people.
We used to do hundreds of those, lots of them.
Hundreds of them. And put from those thousands and thousands and thousands of people into events.
Tiny little classified. Hey, we can do this all night, and I'm happy to. But you know, any you know, kind of last thoughts or close to last thoughts? You know, what's the upside? What's the upside for coming to your event? And then maybe what's an upside for a coach who just wants, you know, the coaches that I'm really excited about, Gail? I talked to one tonight, and I'm going to call her out by name because she deserves it. Her name is Diana. Look, I'm going to tell a story about Diana. If you're on the call, you know, I hope that you get this pride because you have it coming to you. Diana Mandel. She's basically Hitch. She is. She's a well-adjusted, you know, multi-degreed relationship therapist who teaches the good guys how to win. It's like a miracle, right?
Remember?
Huh? Yeah, I'll get it to you. It's like Gail, like in our language, she's got it.
Yeah.
She's got the thing, right? She's pretty, you know, good on video. I mean, I'm shocked she's not making millions, right? She's new. Her clients still like her. You know, she has to be kind of a secret, you know, with the relationships, just like Hitch, you know, like from the movie. And I asked her, you know, we did just a free, you know, like a friend call. And, you know, I'm going to tell on her. I asked her, so what is it that you want more in your coaching business? That was my way of saying, you know, look, I'm the strategist. How can I, you know, get you what you want, you know, from a money standpoint? That woman told me, I could cry over this if I wasn't careful. That woman told me that she wanted her clients to listen more. In other words, the money went straight over her head. Like, what do you want more out of your coaching business? Her default answer was, even better results for my clients, right?
I like that.
So if you're inspiring like that, and you're a coach, and you know, I've been saying on my live videos, right? If you're a coach and you teach, you know, relationship advice or dog grooming or, you know, how to teach whatever, you're not. The fact that you might not be a world-class marketer, you're not supposed to be. Your gift is the other thing, right? So, you know, if you're, let's say you're a coach out there, and man, I'm setting all this up. I hope there's an answer for it. But you're a good coach who really cares about people. You know, what's something you can do? You know, maybe it has to do with live events, maybe it doesn't. But in addition to being good with live events, you've been like everywhere in this industry. You know, what's like one thing that somebody like this can do today to make their life better? And it might be making more money, it might not. What do you think?
Are you asking me what's that one thing?
Yeah. And if I put you on the spot, just tell me, Tom, figure out how to answer yourself.
That's okay. I'm learning how to do this. The one thing, if they're going to be a coach, if you want to be a coach, I think the one thing that's going to propel you is like what you just said about, this person, is being passionate about what you actually want to teach. Knowing in your heart that, because coaches help people. Athletic, you think of a coach and you immediately think they're going to help me. But if you're not thinking, I want to be a coach because I want to help people in this way, you're not going to be as successful. If you think, I want to be a coach because I'm going to make a ton of money and I'm going to charge $5,000 for somebody to talk to me for an hour because I'm all blah, 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 you won't be successful.
Right.
So, there's a lot of, life coaches out there that they just have a passion and a drive to want to help people. And, eventually you're going to be successful at that. You just have to find the right ways to market yourself and to get into that market. But yeah, the one thing is actually caring about what you want to do.
Perfect. Gail, I'll kind of wrap up with this, but I want to put you on the spot with a little science, right? Because I don't know the answer to this, but I'm pretty hopeful that I do. You're in a unique position to know, I mean, not literally, but damn near, if they're like a nonfiction, like New York Times best-selling author, you have probably either worked with them or you know them, right? And of all the really, really rich people that have made lots and lots of money in information, right?
Mm-hmm. Because they're really good at their craft. And Tony's a great example. You don't meet people who like that, who aren't, he's passionate. He's just a passionate human being, and he can't help himself but to want to help people, right? I mean, he's passionate about it. It doesn't matter. We had him on stage. I saw him in Denver, I think it was. And, he was having trouble with his shoulder. But he didn't care. He was out there still, he's like, my wolf flap's not going to be quite as big, but let's go, and he just went through the pain. And, there's other people that I know that they can't function if they can't help people. And when you're in that position, then you bring in the people that can help make the rest of it happen. It's always a team. It's never just one person. Yeah. It's always a team. It's always everything else that happens behind the scenes for that person to get up there and share their brilliance that makes it all successful.
There's a lot of wisdom to that. One last story is we were in the Sahara in Morocco, and Tony was there. We were like a little group out in the middle of the desert. And I will never forget it. I'm a little cynical. When I'm done, I'm done. I was done with the festivities. And I gave Tony this like New Yorker look. You can imagine. We're going into the tent to do some seminar content in the middle of the desert. And I just gave him this look like, come on already. We've been at this 12 hours. And he gave me this look back. The man was possessed. I knew in that moment he could have done it for a week straight. From that passion. It's a beautiful thing.
When quick Tony story, we were working on Financial Destiny. It was the first Financial Destiny, and it was about 1:30 in the morning, and I was the only one left at the office, and we had been going through all this stuff and reworking pages and getting the notebooks ready. And I, we were going back and forth, and it's 1:30 in the morning, and Tony calls and he says, "Did you eat dinner? Should I send food up to you?" Like he stopped to think about, oh, maybe you actually should have something to eat. And those moments when you're so involved and there's so much going on, and we had to be at the event at 6 o'clock in the morning and still get home.
Did he send food?
No, I went and got a Snickers bar. I went home. I'm not going to wait to go wake up a chef to cook something for me and send it food.
We used to be relentless on these trips. We'd go on. He would serve hummus every meal. Me and Aaron Brock used to make it a point to go find Sabret. We found Sabret hot dogs in Morocco. That's a neat trick. In Ramadan. That's a really neat trick. But we could do it all night. But Gail, I think, unless we have a last minute question, we'll give about 30 seconds. We'll wrap it up. And while or if someone's typing, what's the actual domain? We'll type it in, or if you want to, because I want it to be a naked link. I don't want it to be an affiliate link. But say it. What is the actual domain name that everybody should go to?
Yourevent.com.
Perfect. If you want to type it in, or I will. But yeah, maybe 20 seconds. Anybody? I don't know. Brian Casangina. Got it right. I don't know who the angry face. Do we have an angry face to this? How can that happen? I don't see any. Wait a minute. I'm in the wrong window. Now I want to know if we have no, we don't have an angry face. Good. So, 10 more seconds if somebody has a question for Gail. If not, you can respond to this thread. And yeah, go to your event. And now we have it. Thank you, Chris. On this live video, it always is, isn't it? So yeah, and I'll let the last sentence be again. If you like this content, well, this isn't again. It's the first time. If you like the content, if you want to see more of this, if you want to see bigger experts willing to actually come on, this is the way the world works. Do me a favor. It's free. Engage in it. Show up in the comments, ask the questions, like it, and yeah, share this one or share future ones, because that's how we get the old edge rank thing with Facebook, and things get to go bigger. Outside of that, Gail, I'll say thank you very much.
Thank you.
Say hello to Little Blue and all of the people there that I love, and I'll see you for the event, if not sooner.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Perfect. Have a great night, everyone.
Thanks.